Your first deal is always going to be hardest, and then the second, third, fourth, fifth, they will come right around the corner. That is a guarantee I will make you. What's going on, guys? My name is Ben. Today we're here in Dallas, Texas for the Conversations to Closings event. Right behind us you see everybody, and there's gonna be 4 amazing speakers. All 4 of them I know very well and I have done business with or have built great friendships and relationships with. We're gonna be talking everything when it comes to marketing, sales, dispo, building a team. I'm super excited for you guys to meet everybody, the speakers, and just get value from this event. So
let's go ahead and give it up for Ben! Let's go! Let's go, brother.
I appreciate it. So first off, I just want to thank each and every single one of you guys for coming out here. I know you guys have busy Saturdays, busy weekends, and to take the time out of your weekend to learn about how to scale your real estate business is going to get you one step closer to scaling your real estate business. So with that said, I want to start with my presentation and just give you guys a brutally honest story. Because if any of you guys have watched my content before or seen me on Instagram, seen me on YouTube, I love to talk about marketing. It's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. As Cedric said, I've been doing it since I was 15. I'm 20 now. So the math, a quarter of my life has been dedicated to running ads on Facebook and Google. I also like to talk about sales, but there's other people that I believe are better at talking about sales. There's hiring, recruiting, which is extremely boring, for lack of better terms, and leadership and management principles. That's what I'm normally used to talking about. But for you guys are special. And I want to do something a little bit different. I want to give you guys the ability to look over my shoulder and copy my exact playbook. Everything over my shoulder to help you get your first or your next deal in 30 days or less. And my promise to you guys here today is to share the real stuff that is working today, that's working right now. Not stuff that worked 3 years ago that doesn't work anymore. And here's the proof behind it. The first deal that I locked up right here, I started this beginning of October. I locked it up for $13,500 on October 3rd. OS is out sale, so how much I'm gonna sell it to a buyer for. Selling it for $21,000, the profit is gonna be $7,700. That's the first one. A few days later, I locked up another one under contract for $7,000. Out sale is $12,000. That's gonna be a $4,500 profit. The third one, this one's gonna be fun because I actually didn't even lock up this one. I had my partner lock up this one and we locked it up for $2,000. We might just buy this ourselves and just relist it. And after all closing costs, we're looking to make $15,000 on it. And finally, this is my favorite one of all of them. This is probably gonna be one of the biggest deals I've ever done. It is under contract for $105,000. He originally wanted $120, but like I didn't want to give him $120. I wanted to give him $105. And the plan is to either sell each lot, there's 19 of them, or rezone it because it's zoned commercially right now, and just sell it to a builder. That way they can develop and do their projects. And the goal on that one is to make a minimum of at least $55,000. So all these numbers are extremely conservative, but the best part is this didn't take me 6 months. It didn't even take me 3 months. It took me 2 weeks. The stuff that I'm gonna share with you guys today is all of my lessons and everything I've learned over the last 5 years. Because the beautiful thing about business is that once you learn how to do it the first time, doing it the next time is an absolute breeze, right? Here's a quick elevator pitch about me. I'm the CEO of Bolt Deals. That's me. I started it in 2020, been doing it for 5 years, started when I was 15. I scaled it to a 7-figure annual at the age of 19. Over the last 5 years, we've generated a little over $20 million in documented assignment fees for real estate investors. Currently, we manage a little over almost $600,000 per month in ad spend across Facebook and PPC. And my goal, as I mentioned earlier, is to scale a real estate investing firm to 7 figures in annual profit in less than 12 months using the skills and lessons I've learned over the last 5 years. And more importantly, share the entire process online so you guys can just click and copy so you guys can get similar results. So what are we gonna cover today? There's 2 things that I wanna cover today. Number 1, why you struggle, more importantly, why I struggle to get deals and how you can start to get deals. The second thing is gonna be my exact roadmap to scale to $1 million in annual profit so you can copy. And you're gonna hear me talk a lot about profit, gross profit, and the reason why that is because you cannot pay your bills on revenue. Many wholesalers, and if you guys have done deals before, you guys know that you have deal revenue, And then everybody brags about that because it's the bigger number. But after paying your team, after paying software, after paying for data, list, all that, you're left with not as much, right? So the biggest thing I like to talk about is profit. Because if you scale your company off of revenue, you will lose money. I've made that mistake before, which is why I'm telling you guys that, right? So why you struggle to get deals. More importantly, why I struggle to get deals, right? And it's probably something you're running into right now. That is me in my dad's old house, right? I'm from Houston, Texas, at the age of 17, and the biggest reason that I struggle to get deals is overthinking and a lack of execution. So here's what I ran through, and this is probably something you guys are running into right now. You watch all the YouTube videos in the world, right? You're watching, I'm not gonna say names, but all these guys on YouTube, everybody knows them, and they're all telling you different things that maybe contradict each other, and you're just left with not knowing what to do, how to do it, and how much to do it, right? So if we were to define anxiety, it's having plenty of options but not knowing what to prioritize. So for me, my goal here for you guys is to get 1 or 2 takeaways. That way you can just go home and focus on, that way you can scale your business, right? Whether that's marketing, whether that's sales, whether that's dispoing and selling deals, right? So the solution to that, more importantly, what I did is find one platform that you like, so one marketing channel, right? So some of you guys may be cold calling, some of you guys may be doing text blast, some of you guys doing direct mail, whatever the case is, focus on one thing, put a violent amount of effort into it. So however much you're doing right now, 10 times that. Multiply that by 10 and try and do that. And then from there, do that consistently. Because I guarantee you, if you 10x your input and you do that for 6 months, you will get deals. That is a promise I can make you, right? So what did I do to get deals? More importantly, these 4 deals that you saw earlier. My primary marketing channel is Google PPC, and here's why I love to use Google PPC, right? The leads that come in are the most motivated because if your plumbing breaks, for example, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna scroll on Facebook. You're not gonna scroll on TikTok. You're gonna go on Google and search up, plumber near me, right? So same way with sellers, if they need to sell their house fast because they're going through foreclosure, whatever the case is, they're gonna go on Google. And ideally, they wanna see your company so you can get that deal. The second thing is that it's consistent and scalable. For the most part with Google PPC, the results are consistent, meaning if you put in X amount, you're gonna get Y out, the output, consistently. And finally, I sort of have a competitive advantage because when you do something for 5 years, you get data of what works versus what doesn't, and you can use that to your advantage, right? And that's exactly what we do with all of our clients. My mistakes and takeaways. Number 1, do more. Like I said earlier. Make it absolutely unreasonable for you not to succeed because let's use cold calling as an example. If you call 500 people a day, you're gonna get an appointment. And if you call enough people for 6 months, you're gonna get a deal. It's mathematically impossible for you not to get a deal if you do enough volume, right? So like I said, how much you think you need to do, 10 times it, then cut the timeline in half. For example, as an ads person, how can we 10x ad spend? So we'll have a client that's like doing $100 a day. Once they start closing deals and once the numbers make sense, how can we spend $1,000 per day? Because if you spend $1,000 per day, $30,000 per month in ad spend, you will close deals. I promise you, right? Here's the mistake that I made. I found a marketing strategy that worked, and as an entrepreneur, we like to find something that works, and we just like to do something new, right? I don't know why, that's just who we are as people, right? So when you find something that works, when I found something that works, for example, in this case, it was like Facebook and Google ads, I wanted to what if we try Bing ads? What if we try TikTok ads, right? Instead of just doing more, right? The goal is to just force enough input into the system until it breaks. And then when it breaks, then you either optimize and try and fix it, or you go somewhere else, right? Example, like I said, spend 10 times more in ad spend. If you're doing cold calling, figure out how to multiply your output of texting and cold calling people. Because if you talk to more people, the chance of you closing the deal increases. It's just numbers, right? Part 2 of that is doing more and doing it consistently. Like I said, we have clients, for example, that are spending $1,000 per day. Starting out, do not do that. That's not a good idea, right? Please don't do that. But I just use this as an example, and I want you guys to take that to what you guys are doing right now, right? So apply the concepts to what you're doing right now. Like I said, 10 extra output for 6 months consistently, you're guaranteed to not only hit your goals, but exceed them, right? More into the system, you get more out. Inputs, outputs. The point I'm trying to make here is you're not doing enough to get to your goals. It sounds so simple, but it's not easy. every client that I speak to, myself included, we run into this mistake, right? I personally want to always like spend the same amount of money and get more, right? We want to squeeze the juice of our marketing dollars. And I mean, marketing is only going to increase over time. The cost of marketing is only going to increase over time. So the longer I wait to increase my ad spend, the more expensive it's going to cost, right? I know this by mistakes. So again, please just do more. So any questions about that? That's pillar one, why you're struggling to get deals, and how to start getting deals. Are there any questions?
So my question is, for somebody starting off doing that, how much, I guess, like minimum you would say to spend on that? Is there an actual like minimum standpoint for that or no?
Yes, because if you, for those that didn't hear, he asked, is there a minimum amount of ads? Huh? No, you're good. He asked how much, what's the minimum you should spend when it comes to Google PPC? My answer is it's completely based on your goals. For some people, if you only want to close 1 to 2 deals per month and you want to spend $2 to $3 grand, you can get away with it, right? But if you're trying to close $500,000, like we have one of our clients that's making $500,000 a month at a 57%. He's spending 70 grand a month. Most people are not there. Like I have one client in the last 5 years that's doing that. So it comes down based on your goals. Now the question is, how do you figure out how much you need to spend? Find out somebody in your market that is running Google PPC and ask them what their cost per deal is. If you don't know what cost per deal means, it basically means how much it costs to get a deal. Cost per deal, right? For example, let's just say it costs, let's say you're virtual as an example, right? It's the cheapest way to run PPC, and you're targeting 5 different states all over the country. If you can close, you probably get cost per deal anywhere from like $1,500 to $2,000. And if you want to close 2 deals, 2,000 times 2 is 4,000. 4,000 to 5,000, that's your budget. If you know that your average assignment fee is $20,000, that's $40,000 in assignment fees. Divide that by $4,000, that's about a 10x ROAS. You're putting $1 in, you're getting $10 out. The goal is if you can at least get above a 4x return on your money, where you put $1 in it and you get more than $4 out, you could scale this infinitely. My exact roadmap to scaling to $1 million in profit that you can copy, number one is proof of concept, right? I just want to get proof and get my baseline metrics of what I need to do, and then from there I can use my numbers to scale, right? So the the 5 main metrics that I look for is daily conversations. I want to make sure I'm having quality conversations on a daily basis. Second thing is cost per MQL. We talked about cost per lead, but I focused on cost per MQL. So MQL stands for marketing qualified lead. Now you may be wondering, Ben, what is a marketing qualified lead? I'm glad you asked. A marketing qualified lead is what I determine off of the 4 main pillars. So motivation, timeline, property info, asking price. I want to make sure they're motivated to sell in less than 90 days at a realistic price, and the property is actually qualified. In the sense, for example, the deal's not upside down, right? I don't have to show up with $50,000 to close the deal, right? Been there, done that. I backed out of it. Anyways, I think you guys get it. Yeah, I'm not spending $50,000 to get it. No, I care, but like, that's a little too much. And then from there, once we find something that works, we do more of what's working. So what we do with a lot of our clients is once we get their metrics, which you can see in the red right here, hopefully you guys can see it, we plug in these numbers and I'm able to sit down and project for the next 3, 6, or even 12 months where their business is going to be at, how many leads are in their pipeline, how many appointments, projected contract, deal sold, things like that. And from there, we know how much we can spend profitably in order to scale. One thing I want to talk about, and is a common misbelief, is that many people that I speak to on calls, as an example, they're like, how can I spend the least amount and make the most amount of money? I think that's the wrong way to think about it. The goal with marketing is to spend the most amount of money profitably. Because if you could spend more money than everybody else, you will dominate that market and you will get exponential results. That's the term. You guys can take a picture of this. I'm not going to read these numbers out to you, but these are basically my numbers for October, and then projections. So if you guys want to take a picture of that, I got like 2 minutes, so we're not going to talk about hiring, but that's what my org chart looks like. So people on my team, if you guys want to take a picture of that. Conclusions, final takeaways. Number one, you're one deal away from changing everything. Your first deal is always going to be hardest, and then the second, third, fourth, fifth, they will come right around the corner, right? That is a guarantee I will make you. Second thing, fail quick to figure out your marketing and sales process. Just brute force the entire thing. Brute force your first few deals. Once you find something, do more of that. That's it. Do 10x the effort in half the time for 6 months straight, you're guaranteed to win, from my experience. Ask for help from experienced people. We want to help, right? I want to help you guys, and if there's anything I can do to help you guys, let me know. I will share what I have, right? I don't gatekeep, for the most part. Number 5, violent effort. I believe, growing up, my parents are like, violence is never the answer. In business, violence is the answer, right? Just do violent effort. You will destroy your competition, and that's my goal, right? Number 6, no matter how hard things get, rough things get, just don't quit. Here's why. Only losers quit. Don't be a loser. Nobody likes losers. And what I tell myself is, if you quit, you're a B word. Don't be a B word, right? It's that simple. Yep. And another small thing is, I think it'll be cool. This is what I did. On the right here, you guys can't see it, but I have a master notes and thoughts list. So basically, as I run my business in my personal and professional life, I like to document lessons that I've learned along the way, just for myself. One day I'll share it, so this is one thing I will gatekeep, right? There's some personal stuff in here. So yeah, that is something that if you want to start doing, you might be beneficial. And one thing you will find is that you need to be reminded more stuff than you need to be taught new things. Now, my final message and things I wish I did. Document the entire process. I have clients that say they want to build a brand, and their biggest hesitancy is like, oh, haters and comments and all this stuff. You'll get 100 people and one person will hate. And the guy that's hating is like some kid. It's like, come on. So one thing I wish I did when I first started is I wish I documented more. So this right here is a screenshot of what I call weekly recaps. So back then, what I was doing was every single Sunday, I would just sit down in front of the camera and document my wins, my losses for the week, and how I'm going to make next week better. Because if you can keep that feedback loop consistently, as opposed to waiting until New Year's resolutions, you will move a lot quicker, right? So that is something I wish I did more of when I was starting, because I've noticed that the stuff that I was stressing about when I was 15. I'm like, man, I wish I could still stress about that. Anyways, you guys get it. Cool. Second thing, I'm not a coach. I'm just saying this, but something that's absolutely helped me is investing into coaching and one-on-one consulting. Hire people that have been there, done that, and can actually prove that they are who they say they are. And for me, I'm fortunate enough, after 5 years, to have the resources to invest into coaching. And one thing people tell me is that I have time. And I believe that, and I want to shortcut my way, and the easiest way to shortcut is through paying for coaching. Another thing I'll share about that is the mistake that I made when I first started is I was so focused on how much do I get, as opposed to what I'm getting. If you hire a coach and you just get 1 or 2 nuggets, it will change your business. That's all you need, right? It might be a mindset, you might be overcoming a limiting belief. Man, if I had 2 hours, I'd go nuts. But there are 3 main things I'll share that stop a business owner from growing. At least it stopped me. It's a character constraint, it's a skill constraint, or it's a belief constraint. A character is, for example, if I'm just a bad person and I have bad morals, that might stop me from growing my business, right? Try to do good business, guys. Do good business, so please. Character skill constraint. If you can't sell, if you don't have the necessary skills to scale your business, you're not going to scale your business. And belief. If you believe that money is bad and yada, 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 you have bad beliefs, it will prevent you from scaling your business. For example, one of the ones I had was coaches suck and they are just going to siphon money out of you. That stopped me from growing. It cost me a year of my time, right? And to me, that's 5% of my life, which to me is a lot. That's all I got. I hope you guys got some value out of it, at least one takeaway. Yeah. Did I go over time?
Good game.